Hey, what's up, guys? So I've been getting a lot of questions and responses about this IG-88 Star Wars model I made, and on how I actually use the live compositing nodes inside Blender 5.2. So I guess I'm just gonna make a quick video showing you how to set up your nodes. So this is how the model actually looks, but if you watch it live, you can just see all the compositing nodes are working as we speak, as we move the object. So I'm not going to be focusing on how grease pencil, on how the shading works, but if you like to know how I use these tools, you can go to my Blender Sketching in 2D Style course. Is a 2-hour training course that is available on Superhive. And I'll show you how to make some really quick robot sketches using Blender and using grease pencil to make it look like a 2D style. All right, so let's go back to this project. So I'm gonna open this, on which I don't have any compositing, and this is how it looks. Okay, so it has like a flat shading. I'm kind of like just using some grease pencil and faking some of these lights, but it still doesn't look so good. And I'm gonna make it look more like a comic book style using the live compositing nodes. So first things first, we're gonna make sure we are using Eevee for this. And on performance, we're gonna go to compositor and make sure we are also using our GPU. It still works with the CPU, but GPU is just gonna be faster if you have a compatible GPU. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go here to my viewport shading, and I'm gonna make sure on compositor, I'm gonna put always on. That means all the changes I make here inside a compositor, it's gonna show live here on my 3D viewport. You see, if I move this, it's live, but now it's gonna be live also with the compositing nodes, which is amazing. This feature has been available in Blender since version 3.2, I guess, but it has grown stronger now with Eevee, and it has some new nodes on Blender 5.2. So I'm going to be showing you that. Okay, so let's start by putting, let's look for an exposure node. All right, going to put an exposure. So I'm just going to make these a little bit more like comic book style. All right. I'm gonna put hue and saturation. And wait, no, that's not the one. Hue saturation value. This is the one. And okay. And I'm just gonna saturate it a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. So now we want to give it like a 2D look. So we have two choices. We can use the Kuwahara node. You just search for Kuwahara, which is this one. Which has this like kind of makes it look like a painting. You see, really cool, and it works live. You see, but 5.2 has a new node, which is the paint filter. So I'm gonna be using the paint filter now. All right, this one is more complex, but we're just gonna use some of its basic features, and it's really cool. It has some like texture styles, like watercolor, oil paint, digital, and yeah, we can just customize a lot of things. I'm just gonna go to maybe oil paint or maybe watercolor. All right, you can choose the size. I just wanna have some like different variations on the color, and that's good. Yeah, you just can play with this. Yeah, maybe more sharp. I like that. I like what it's doing with the background, but okay. But the trick here is that we shouldn't use this just like this. I mean, what I usually do is I'm just gonna add a mix color. Whenever you're finding yourself using a node many times, just right click on it and add it to your favorites. So whenever I use the Q key on my keyboard, the Q is gonna bring my quick favorites, and I have some favorites here. You can just keep adding them. It's gonna make your workflow just faster. So I'm gonna put my mix color, and I'm gonna mix it with my image again. And I'm gonna use probably an overlay. And yeah, that's gonna make it look more interesting. And now I can, let me see. It's like, no, wait a minute. I think this is backwards. Okay, so this is my pen filter, and this is what it's doing. And yeah. So yeah, you can play with these styles here, depending on what you're going for. And then on top of this, maybe I can just add another pen filter, or maybe just add the Kuwahara. But yeah, you could use both. But the pen filter is now more strong, has more features. And then this one, let's just put it on anisotropic is fine, and let's add it. Make it like this. Yeah, that's good. Just taking some of the 3D look, kind of like making it look more flat. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna add a posterize filter, which is gonna bring this kind of like old style, old school texture, kind of like make it look more handmade. That's cool. And you know, you can just move it around and it's gonna work for the whole model, which I think is quite amazing. Now let's go for sensor noise. You can get the sensor noise here. What is it? Just put a sensor noise, and let's just gonna add some noise. I don't like the word noise. They should call it grain, because it's more professional, I guess. Because sometimes you want to get rid of noise, but now we are just adding some noise. Should be grain, I guess, but doesn't matter. And then, yeah, what I did for this project is I want to make it look more like, give it like a paper texture. So yeah, I could do that in 3D, but it's just going to take me more time to UV unwrap and do all the shenanigans with texturing. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go to texture. I'm going to bring an image texture. And I have a texture that I already download, which is like a paper texture. So yeah, you can just find online paper textures and choose an HD one that has good quality. So I'm choosing this one. So yeah, if you press Ctrl-Shift-Click on any of your nodes, it's gonna show you what it's doing. If that doesn't work, it's because you need to have your Node Wrangler add-on working. So just look for Node Wrangler, and yeah, I recommend you to use it. Also, if you want your nodes to look straight and not like a noodle, which sometimes can be confusing, you can go to your themes, look for the node editor, and at the end you will find this noodle curving, and you should put it to 0, and that's going to make these lines from the nodes just straight. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a mix color again, and I'm gonna mix it with the paper texture. Let's put it on overlay. Where is it? All right. Yeah, so you see the difference. It's just adding like a little bit of an extra layer of texture, and it's gonna work just live. Oops. There it is. It's just gonna work like live, which is amazing. Okay, now let's keep giving it some irregularities and imperfections. So let's just look for, okay, so these paint filters are giving me this warning. I guess I need to just like upgrade them. I guess that's where it is. And let's just look for vector blur. Where's my vector blur? All right. And just give it a little bit of a blur in some of the axes. So all of these, wait, sorry. Let me just go back. Yeah. So all of these details kind of like smoosh together. And then let's go to, let me see. Is that a filter again? Let's look for a filter. And where's my filter? Yes. So now I'm just gonna make the opposite. I just kind of like distorted. I mean, I kind of just like smooshed together some of these small details, but now I want to bring everything kind of like back to look more sharp. So I'm just gonna put a box sharpen. Of course, this is too much, but just make it a little bit less. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. All right, so we're getting to the end of this. And let's add a vignette. And let's just make it smaller. Oh, again with this. Sorry about that, just losing my... Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's with the letter. I'm gonna make this just a little bit bigger on my screen. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, that's fine. And another really cool filter included on 5.2 is the dithering filter, which is this one. All right, yeah, it was not updated. That's why it was showing me that warning. So this is my dithering filter, which is pretty cool because it'll kind of let you make this like pixel art effects. So you can go like really, really crazy, and it's still gonna work. Oh, sorry. It's still gonna work like live, you see? All right, of course that's too much, but you can just have fun with this, make some pixel art 3D work. But for this case, I'm just gonna pixelate a little bit, and the intensity, I'm gonna make it less. Yeah. So that gives me kind of like a grain, kind of like a retro style look for this. So that's makes it look more like an illustration, which is the whole point of this. And just to finish up, one of my favorite filters is the chromatic aberration, which is right here. And yeah, just make it a little bit less. Oh, that's looking good. You see, it makes a big difference because this is how we started, which looks pretty boring. And now it's looking cool. And of course, you can just impress your friends when making it turn around. All right, so I hope this tutorial has been useful. If you are wanting to achieve some 2D looks on your 3D models. And remember, if you want to learn more about grease pencil and want to make your own sketches and of course make some really ugly and crazy robots, don't forget to go to Superhive. just look for sketching in 2D and you will find my course, which is still available, on which I will show you how to start with some primitives, make some blocking, and then start just playing with grease pencil and creating your own 2D look style animations and renders inside Blender. Right, hope you guys like this and see you later. Bye bye.